Hello there. Got a little bit of lag going on. My computer's had a reboot. Oh boy. Just doing my thing and getting my news, and power goes off. I'm like, oh God, it's a nice day. What's going on? Jeez. And about 20 minutes later, just shortly after I got the left the ticket with this power company, because I waited about 10-15 minutes, and so I thought, because sometimes the complex will shut a building's power off for like half hour, something like that, because they have to work on something, or a crew has to work on something. So they ask the complex to shut off power to that section, or that building, or that courtyard, or whatever, however they're set up. And it just takes forever to boot up, and because I had a queue on YouTube here for news items I wanted to watch, so it's gotta buffer all of that before it'll pop up. And obviously this says it has internet, because it wouldn't be trying to connect, and it shows I have internet, but the TV says it's not connected to the internet, and that's where the box is, for cable. Well, it's not. I don't have cable. I just have streaming. But your router box, it's that the wire goes into. Yeah, that's in the living room. So usually, if it's not connecting here, it'll definitely connect there. And now it's weirded out. So, since I'm still waiting for it to get to YouTube, because I had like a dozen items on queue, I was going to listen to the, whatever videos there were, while I did some graphics and stuff like that. So, had to throw myself in a bit of a, and it's only like, yes, the reading glasses. I am 61, guys. Give me a break. It's 9:48, so it's not even 10 o'clock. And there's Mr. Snorri Pants. I took a little video. I'll be putting it. I think it ran over a few minutes for shorts, but he snores, and you'd have to crank it anyway. You'll see it. So now I don't know what the hell's happening with the with the cable company. So I've just turned that off, let it just reset, and maybe, who knows. But I just wanted to talk real quick about, or not real quick, whatever it comes out to, about this whole thing Trump said during the debate of Ohio. The Haitians that were sent to Ohio, Springfield, Ohio, which, if you've been under a rock and you don't know, that's Springfield is where the Simpsons is like set. And we all know that over the decades, Simpsons has been eerily correct in predicting shit. It's very eerie. They did one of like Trump, because it was so preposterous. Just like they've spoofed on the Prince William, Prince Harry, Meghan, all of them. And years and years and years and years later, it's like, who the hell knew that would happen? Well, Simpsons did, apparently. But they did something about eating dogs and cats and stuff. But Trump is doubling down, apparently. He was in Tucson, Arizona for, well, they call them rallies, but we call them piss and moan parties, pity parties, whatever. Because that's all he does. A rally is to share your political plans if you get in office, and to get everybody hyped up, about America. And he says we're dying, and and struggling and failing nation. I mean, that get serious. But anyway, he was in Tucson after the debate, going on and on still about eating cats and dogs. I'm like, oh my god. I think one of the things, besides Kamala, she gets under his skin like interviewers, Biden, anybody has not been able to. And I think there's a few key things with that. And it's because things that I've been wanting to see those people say over the years to him, to his face in public, and they just haven't. And it's either, giving him a little respect, not who he is, but just that he is a person. And it's rude, and unkind to do that. However, there are always exceptions, even to the Zen meditation rules. And Donald Trump is definitely, and I'm saying it DoNALD, in case you don't know, I refuse to say his name correctly until he starts using Kamala's name correctly. It's Kamala, 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 not Kamala, Kamala. So until he wants to put the accent, the emphasis on the correct syllable, I will pronounce his name incorrectly deliberately, just like he's doing. So one of the things that DoNALD really hates is, besides being ignored for somebody else, he hates that. He hates being mocked or laughed at, and being laughed at or mocked to his face has got to be the ultimate, right? Because he can't stand it when the late night show, Stephen Colbert or Jimmy Kimmel, give him a jab, isn't it past your jail time? Something like that, And he gets all night long, these people, they stuck to, but they don't do it to his face. Kamala at the debate, when he brought up that, she outright laughed at him, but not and she was very clear. She's very expressive with her face and her tones. And I mean, she's a mom, she's a teacher, okay? And I'll get to that pose too. But it wasn't a laugh like you're laughing with them along with a joke or something. It was like he was being laughed at. He was being laughed at because he's repeating something that he obviously believes, and that is like so ridiculously stupid. It's literally a cartoon from years ago, okay? And it's incredibly racist too. It's a very common racist trope about linking them, because they're linking it with voodoo, Haitians, voodoo, eating dogs and cats, that whole loose association crap, and a loose association from a warped brain, okay? There's a twisted brain, guilty, but there's also, like, seriously warped, very skewed kind of brains, and that's not the same as, yeah, you're a little twisted, eh? Yeah, twisted can be funky, weird, kinky. It can mean a lot of things. When you say off, that's not really a... when you say, boy, you're off, it's like, it's pretty clear you're not correct. It's like, So laughing at him, but not only laughing at him, but laughing at him on something that's, they both know, or everybody is watching. It would have been worse for him, if there had been a live audience. But the other thing, she listens. She's not looking at her next, or her question, or, thinking of phrasing her next question. She listened, and she listened when he was telling his little stories. She had a pose that a lot of either moms or teachers or something like that, somebody who's been in charge of others, has recognized, I'm pretty sure relatively quickly, is she did this. type of thing. I know I do a lot of, this and that, but that is the face of a mom or a teacher. I was also a corrections officer in the men's prisons in Arizona for a decade, not the jails, the prisons. Um, so it's not, you're working with law enforcement and hanging with some of them, and you know, just because your jobs interconnect, also medical nurses and things like that, you do duty at the hospital or something, you get to know people, firefighters, that kind of thing. We're all kind of in the same group of types of jobs, even though they're radically different. You have life and death at your responsibility. You have a lot of people under your responsibility. For me, it was inmates, but you can't treat them inhumane, or you shouldn't be. You're not the punisher. You're just the. And I would tell them, I'm just a glorified babysitter. I'm just supposed to make sure you do your sentence and you do it in the correct way. You don't skip out on shit. So, no, I'm not all full of myself. Oh, I'm law enforcement. I am law enforcement. But my particular job is to make sure the kids that were naughty in school, which is the world, in varying degrees, I make sure that they go to detention and they do their detention time the correct way. Basically, that's what you are. Now, of course, it's a lot more complicated, but I got the respect because I boiled it down to the basics. Like, no, I do not think I'm all that much better than anybody else when it comes to stuff like that. But that look, that thing like this is what, if you know the look, this is what it says to you. Oh, they know there's a good story coming, like a mom. Who broke the vase? Oh, you know there's a good story coming just by who's doing what, who's fidgeting, who's looking. You get to learn this after a while, and as a mom, you do. You just want to put your, lean on the counter and go, okay, tell me the story. Good, tell me. No, I'm listening. No, I'm listening. Tell me. You're just waiting for what's gonna come. And if there's more than one person that has a story you have to deduct. Of course, the debate wasn't, but you learn to do, and you can tell some. And just because that is a certain thing's an indicator on that person that they're not telling you the full truth, that might not be the same for that person. And it's like she knew it was going to be a story, um, and you subconsciously, the person might not realize she's doing that, obviously, and it doesn't realize that they're responding to that, which is exactly what the person wants. They want you to feel like, I already know it's a story, so that flusters you. Because then you want to think, I got to make the story more believable. So you add more detail, and you're doing that on the fly. And somebody like him can't do it on the fly anymore like that. He thinks he can, but he can't. I myself, I'm 61. And sometimes I think I'm moving, I'm thinking faster that took me a while. It took me a few more seconds than I thought it did. But that makes a difference sometimes. A few seconds can make a difference, just like, a tiny inch. And I don't mean like that. I mean, seriously, in saving somebody, 1 inch could be the difference. Seriously, small things are not necessarily disposable things or disregarded things, so keep that in mind. But when she did that, it was the person it's being done to usually gets this reaction. When the person goes like this and they're starting their story, the other person goes like this, they're waiting. You could see that's a posture that if you're waiting to see what happens in a movie or something, right? And so even though they're not realizing it, their brain is transferring that into, I'm seeing them do that, so that must mean they're getting ready for a story that she thinks I'm lying. All of this in these nanoseconds, or however fast his brain works now. Damn, YouTube still isn't up. So, he's already on guard, well, before he's even started his story. And then, when he gets to the part, and he hasn't even finished it yet, but he starts saying eating cat, she was just like, ah! She got out of her, she was like, and she was like, ah! And she just laughed heartily, I mean, right in his face. And then kept laughing. Because he kept trying to finish what he was saying, his sentence about, no, they're eating people's pets and the ducks at the lake, at the ponds, or whatever he was babbling And he doesn't get laughed at to his face in public on camera on something that everybody's watching. Even that's not even a narcissist thing of his. Everybody was watching. And they keep laughing at you while you're trying to finish the sentence. Even if you're not Donald Trump, that would kind of put you off. But the minute she walked to the center stage, most people, the two parties shake hands, wish each other, and a good debate, and they go to their podiums. He slunk. It looked like he was slinking in, and he didn't even go towards the stage. He went slinking to his podium, because for me, for you, it was opposite. He like slunk, and it was almost at his podium when she got to the center stage. This is for anybody who happened to not be watching. Or didn't catch the very beginning. It was she literally took the upper hand right from the start. Yeah, Kamala. Yeah, Kamala. Yes. He was almost at the podium. She got to center stage, saw he had no intention of meeting her face to face. That's another thing. He hardly looked at her the entire fucking time. So she walks over to him at his podium, sticks out her hand and says, Kamala Harris. So he has no excuse not to say it correctly anymore. First words out of anybody's mouth was, Kamala Harris, have a good debate. Or whatever, after that. And that rattled him from the start. And it's not just because it's a Democrat who knows what they're talking about. She's a woman, and she's a woman of color, nay, a woman of mixed color. She's white and other things. And she's a woman. So, this mixed race person with a vagina made his shrivel and crawl up inside him like his testicles did. From the start, I did not leave. Even during the 2 short breaks, I did not leave this chair. And I was writing quotes and shit to do memes. You damn well know it. She mentioned eating cats and dogs. And like everybody else, when he did that, it got more than when he said that on whatever interview he was doing that. When he said it during the debate, let the memes fly. I did a few myself. Do you remember Toon Sis, the driving cat on the original SNLs? Toon Sis, the driving cat. Funny as hell. Look it up. Toon Sis. TOONCES on YouTube here. Toon Sis, the driving cat. Frickin' hilarious. And a few others. We gotta go get out of Springfield. It was like before he got off the stage, the memes were hitting the freaking internet. Um, and yeah, I'm guilty. I was like watching and doing listen because you really had to watch. I had to keep stopping because you had to really watch with the you had to see, not just hear the tone and what was said and how it was said, but this one you really it was so much better if you saw the expressions. That man, I don't think he really looked at her once. I mean, even if a glance, it was like he was afraid his dick would completely fall off if he actually looked at her. And when he was speaking, she gave that respect. Now, there was a few times that, there was one time where she couldn't stop herself. She was kind of like holding in her giggle, her guffaw. She was like, okay. And she didn't say anything. She didn't interrupt him. She just like, bubbled out. And oh my God. He said, don't interrupt me, I'm talking. I got so involved with it. Because when she started to laugh, it popped out of me too. And when he's got that, he was so pissed. And he didn't even look at her. He looked over like, I'm talking, don't interrupt. Like he was so... The indignity of that. How dare you, the audacity. I am speaking here. And I literally said, she wasn't saying anything. She didn't interrupt you. Oh my God. That was just like, it was a sight to behold. So if you missed this debate, I seriously suggest, if you want to see a woman and a woman of mixed race totally obliterate and grind that stiletto right into his big, stupid, orange face. Okay? As you can see, a few days later, I'm still kind of giggling. I mean, it's Friday, and I'm still laughing at the debate at the beginning of the week. And so is everybody else. And I'll tell you something, DoNALD. That did nothing for their weird complaint, okay? It's like you have a woman hating, cat insulting, lying buddy of couches as your running mate. We all know what's wrong with that. But you really thought that a roadkill dog eating, brain worm ate half your brain, whale decapitating, bear carcass dropped in Central Park guy is gonna help their weird problem? That's not fixing your weird problem at all. So then you put on the Haitians are being relocated to Ohio, Springfield, and they're eating people's dogs and cats right off their porches, right out of their ponds. They're getting those ducks and barbecuing them up right there in the front yard, people. I don't know why I did that accent, but it has that ignoramus kind of feel to it. It's like, really? And the moderators said that they checked, I think it was the governor or the mayor, whatever the hell it was, Springfield, and they said there has been no reports No complaints of that whatsoever. And they had that ready because they knew DoNALD was going to bring up the cats and dogs are being eaten right off your... In fact, they're just bringing their barbecue right onto your lawn, grabbing your dog off his leash and butchering him and popping that little poodle right on the barbecue. Oh my God. Filleting that cat up and like popping that in that wok right there on the other side. Seriously, people. If that is not the most racist, bigoted trope, oh my God. Why didn't you just put blackface on and do a little dance while you were saying it? And Laura Loomer? Oh, you should hear she was like, if that woman gets into the White House will be smelling like curry. And, oh my God. And that woman is nobody except a groupie. She's a MAGA groupie, and she's a loudmouth. That doesn't mind being wrong and laughed at. I mean, I could be the same way. I'm a loudmouth, okay? And if I wanted to fall into that rabbit hole and be a MAGA, oh my God, I would be one of those most annoying ones. I would. But I would have lies to back up the explanation of the lie I just said. So, it would be a scary MAGA. But yeah, if I had fallen into that, I would have been a very scary person. Not one of the more harmless ones. So, but yes, this is, it's good for the laugh. By the way, did you know that laughter massages your liver? And it does. It really does. That vibration. Now, I'm not saying you can go out and be an alcoholic, be a lush, and as long as you laugh your way through it, you're fine. No. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it does. I'm not saying it's good or it's bad, but laughter does massage the liver. So, the more you know. I'm sure you could not finish the rest of your life without knowing that little fact. I'm sure you can just put all your books away for the day because now you've learned that. I've learned something today, fact. I know it wasn't that earth-shattering, but it is funny to think about every now and then. I hear somebody laugh and I'll just think of somebody massaging their liver and it just makes me giggle. So going back to the twisted people, I can be a little twisted. It's not the same as everything else we talked about. But yes, if you need a good laugh and you're pro-America, meaning not MAGA, and you need a good laugh, it's an hour and a half of laughs. Because usually when I listen to DoNALD spew his rhetoric, I get mad because nobody's pushing back, nobody's saying anything. The other person, is being quietly, like laughing like that. The moderators are being respectful. While he goes off on some freaking deranged Hannibal Lecter, battery shark, freaking tangent. Thank God he's not doing the thing. Oh my God, thank God. But normally I get angry because nobody's doing anything. And if that's the way you feel when he, gives interviews or on debates or whatever, then you really should listen and watch that debate. Because if you're like me in that respect, this was a joy to behold. Because even when the camera was just on him because he was talking, and it wasn't split screen, you could hear her do a little giggle or something. She never interrupted him. A giggle is like blowing your nose or sneezing. You're not interrupting the person. You're trying not to interrupt him. And just hearing that while the camera's totally on him, and he's all angry and not looking at her and trying really hard not to look at her, and watching him blow his cork. I mean, I almost expected to see him stomp his foot. Stop! Stop! You know? And take a little hissy fit. But, I mean, I really got that feel from him, that he was that irked, that miffed, that mad. She had the audacity to laugh right in my face on camera. Oh, Kamala. Man, if you ever came by through where I am, I seriously want to meet you. I seriously want. I mean, I wanted to meet you before. I thought you were. But now, seeing you more, because we didn't get to see you these last 4 years. Very little. DoNALD had to open his mouth all the time. And that's what I first said. When Biden stepped down, I made a video and I said, I mean, I like the first woman, the first mixed color. I love that. But, so it's not just a step, it's a leap, you know? But I even said, we don't know enough about her. We haven't been shown a lot of her speeches, you know, where she's going. Because the media was so busy. Yeah, I'm really super ADHD today. The media was so busy with Biden's old and derelict, and Trump might be old and derelict bullshit. You didn't get to see the stuff where we knew she was going here or she was flying there, but we didn't really get to see more than like a minute of something. And now we have, and I'm good with it. I am way good, because Biden didn't want to run. He said that from the start, a second term. He's a one and done. He said that, and he didn't want to step up. It just there wasn't anybody that felt that was saying, I'll do it, you know, that he felt could beat Trump, the right person. Otherwise, he would have tried again. But yeah, you know, I was hoping he wouldn't, and only because, you know, he had just got COVID, he got sick. I mean, Hunter, the whole thing, the way they're using it to weaponize. I mean, they keep saying he's doing that, Biden's doing that to DoNALD, but actually they've been doing that to Hunter. They say they're doing it in response to, but Trump actually did those things. The things that Hunter did, yes, he did those too, and he paid that money, the tax money back. It was the gun issue, and most people, especially with those kind of situations, don't go to jail. Especially since he's already paid the tax that he didn't pay back, which was the original thing. It was the gun thing, you know, and he just lied and said he didn't have a felony. Yeah, that's not cool. And yeah, it's illegal, and he's admitted it. But most of the time, when they show that they've made attempts, they've changed their life, they've gotten off the substance, you know, they're usually just, all right, everything that you've done, you've worked to get that, it's dismissed now. And they're only doing it the way they're doing it with Hunter, because he's the president's son, and because they blame Joe Biden for all the shit with Donald, and Joe Biden wasn't even the president when Trump did all that shit. So it just takes years to get all the information to have a complete case. That's all that shit is. That's basically the rundown of the politics in the last 10 years. A lot more, obviously, but I strongly suggest anyone that did not see the debate to watch it, because she drags him up one side of the stage and back down the other side. She And then she squeezes him out and chamois her car with him. I mean, dude, I don't want any more debates. I think I've made my point. I won and I've made my point. No more debates. Yeah, that's basically saying she made me look really stupid and she's a girl and has cooties and I don't want to be on the stage with her again. Ever again. She was mean. She laughed. You're not allowed to laugh. No, you're not allowed to laugh. That's kind of what I envision Donald doing when I see that shit going on. And I can't help but giggle. Am I taking a little bit of a pleasure out of his frustration and downfall and spiral and confusion? Yeah. Yeah, I am. Am I normally like that? No. No. I don't like to tell somebody, you are so wrong, you need to see, and then finally they say, I see it, I'm not going to be, no, it's okay. I'll be like, well, I'm glad you finally realized it, but I really wish you would have paid more attention before. That's kind of how I'm feeling, but most of the time with people. Because once somebody comes around to seeing things in clarity and in reality, one of the worst things to do is to kick them down and say, oh, it's about time, you idiot. It's like, fuck this shit. You don't need to be insulted when you finally admitted that you might not have been right, and then you get insulted on top of it. It's not the way to get people to come over to your side or to see things differently. So, even though it's knee-jerk after so many years to be like, it's about fucking time. Because trust me, I've had that. Somebody said, I voted for Trump, but I won't this time. And I was like, well, that's cool. I'm glad you finally saw everything clearly. That's not saying anything mean. I mean, you can infer it, imply, whatever. But it's tactful, as opposed to instead of just saying, it's about time, that makes it sound, it's the same emotion, different feeling, You don't want them scampering back there because they're all going to be like, oh, it's okay. They're not getting that from us. Do you blame them for going back to the people that, it's okay, everything's fine, whatever happens, you're okay, you're always okay. Even if you kill somebody, it's okay, there was a good reason, So, watch the debate, and I would strongly suggest anything that has to do with Kamala and Trump. I can tell you right now, it's probably going to be worth watching, for sure. And all I can say is, Kamala, vote blue, dudes, because blue wave is just crushing that little red hat on the beach. It's little red hat sitting there in the sand, and this big, gorgeous blue tsunami wave is coming up and whoosh, bye-bye, hat. All right, my cat behind me is snoring away, and she's waiting for the sun to get there. I know. It's not time yet for the sun to come in there. I know you're waiting. It's a few hours away, baby girl. She's been at that window for 2 hours. And it doesn't get here till the early afternoon, the sun through that window. It doesn't move far enough right now, so. Oh, I took a little, a short of the garden, the little growy area of mine, and I'm going to put that up now that the internet's back. Peace out, guys. Have a great day. Have a good weekend. And I'm sure I'll be yapping to you soon enough. Peace out, guys.